Gotta do it my way. Maybe take the highway? Someone's listening on your phone. Is your provider Y-way? Asking questions. It's Friday, June 18th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another so-so production. Dust bunnies, bunnies everywhere. Dust bunnies, bunnies are my friend. Dust bunnies, bunnies everywhere. Dust bunnies, bunnies are your friend. Dust bunnies, dust bunnies, bunnies everywhere. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Welcome back, man. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF, dudes. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. It's the end of the work week. That's right. Here we are, kicking butt, taking names. Thank you very much for joining me again. If you're a long-time listener, thank you for all your love and support and your most appreciated patience. And if you're a new listener, if you're just tuning in, it's your first episode, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride, just like every other time that we're in here. We're going to try to put on a good show, put on good vibes, put on good thoughts, a lot of positive energy, just a lot of positive energy. That's what we do around here. That's what we do. We cook with positive energy. We're doing a lot of cooking, I'll tell you that. We're doing a lot of cooking. Things are steaming up in here, out there too. It is, it's 19, 20 degrees outside where I'm sitting. We're sitting here in Toronto, in case you're wondering. It's a little bit of rain, a little bit of that classic precipitation, a little bit of that, Mama Nature coming in here, sprinkling a little bit of that drizzle. Drip, drip, baby, drip, drip. That's what it is. Feeling, it's good. It's that last batch of the spring precipitation. We're getting ready for summer. It's here in a few days. That's right, summer's almost here, man. Can you guys believe it? It's June 18th. We're almost, done with June, and then July's like, the heat of the summer's here, man. July's that beginning of the summer, and when you get the heat, and it's exciting. You see a lot of flowers now everywhere. Everywhere's green. Everything's looking spanking new. It's exciting, man. It's an exciting time to be alive. I can't contain myself, and I hope you guys feel the same way. Whatever you're going through, we'll ride it out together. Baby boy, baby girl, we'll ride it out together. I got your back, you got my back. We all gooch up in here, up in there, everywhere. Trying our best. That's what it's all about. Just trying our best. Let me get a sip of this. Been doing a little bit of writing this week. Been doing a little bit of writing. Been doing a little bit of thinking. And I'm glad that I did the painting, because that's what I said, man. Once you dabble into a little bit of like different creative ventures, it'll just unleash more energy and you feed off of it, or at least that's how I work. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then get an overflow of ideas, and then it's time to go in and like do a little bit of sweeping again. Do a little bit of sweeping, add this, take that out. What do you want to do now? What do you want to do next? And there's just a ton of ideas that are cooking, and I'm excited. And in time, I'll be sharing a lot with you guys, and I'm very excited, and I'm very privileged. I'm very, very grateful and thankful for everything that I've got, every person in my life, good friends, family, larger community, you guys, my online family. Hopefully we'll get to, some of us might get to even meet one day up close and personal, and that'll be a different sort of interaction. But thank you guys very much, ladies and gentlemen. Life's beautiful, man. If you're here, if you're alive, if you've somehow landed on this channel, well, you're very lucky. Not because you've landed particularly on this channel or this show. You're just, if you've got access to these things, if you can, and that's where I find myself. I've got a lot of access to so much good info, so many good things happening out there in the physical realm, in the visual realm, and every different field. There's just so much to soak up, and it's just it depends on you. What do you jive with? What's your jam? What gets your juices going in the morning? You know what I'm saying? And there's find it and go after it. Put your blinders on, focus on it, and we'll get it together, whatever it is. I love you guys, and man, yesterday I did a lot of walking, did a lot of walking. Portion of it was, I walked a little bit with my brother. A portion of it, I was walking back by myself, listening to music, just observing, taking in the scenery, because everything's, here in Ontario and Toronto at least, we've got the patios going on, which is super nice. I'm seeing a ton of people engaging in different activities, sitting outside, conducting business meetings over a drink, conducting friendship meetings over a drink or a little slice of this, that, and the other. Socializing at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, socializing. I see smiles everywhere, which is so nice. Makes me want to smile more, which I'm doing. Just comes out naturally when I see beautiful people out there doing different things, man, just different things. And gets me excited about life. And it's got to be grateful because it's a gift, man. It's, a lot of times everything might seem like it's stagnated, or everything might seem like it's, not moving along, or it's not, but everything, I guarantee you, everything's in full vibrations all the time. Nothing's stagnant, everything's constantly changing. And that was a little refresher for me yesterday, and kind of over the past weekend that just came and went, when I was doing a little bit of the artwork behind me. I was just like paying attention to lines, paying attention to the horizon out there, paying attention to the trees and how they move and interact with one another. And you forget sometimes, yes, we take it for granted. Yes, we realize that they're alive and kicking and breathing, taking in CO2s, giving out clean oxygen, and they're alive, and Mother Nature's alive. The earth is this breathing, living organism, and we're all a part of it, right? We're all a part of it. Well, sometimes you forget that, but I was just looking off into the horizon, into the distance, and at the same time, I also was kind of looking at the trees that are a little bit closer to my view as well, and I noticed the trees are dancing. They're all always dancing. That's one thing that you'll notice, and it reminded me of the time when, sometimes your boy likes to dabble in psilocybin shroomsies, and the last time that I did it was a microdose. It was a few months ago. But the beautiful thing with mushrooms, or psilocybin mushrooms rather, is it's different. It's different for everybody. Different, depends how much you take, depends what you're seeking. But one thing that it does, a lot of people, I've heard this, a lot of people have this same experience. Well, if they're in the outdoors, especially if you're in nature, you're really gonna feel Mother Nature communicating with you. You'll really see the trees dancing. You really see the breathing of the trees and the leaves. Everything is really yes, we say that everything's alive, but I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like trying to describe what maybe a drink might feel like to somebody who's never had a drink. But the reason why I'm talking about this is different reasons. First of all, because that's the thing, when I was looking at the trees and everything, here's what here's what I rather noticed. When you look at the trees that are closer up in front of your eyes, yes, you can see the movement, and you're like, okay, the leaves are moving with the wind, everything's constantly changing and shifting. But when you look further down the line into the distance, you'll see the tree line or the horizon, but it looks kind of stable. It looks as if it's a straight line, or it looks as if it's stagnant. It's just like sitting there, not doing much. But that's the thing, it's always shifting and it's always moving. But our eyes, that's the thing that I was trying to kind of focus on. Our visual senses, right? They're always trying to make it so that we don't freak out. Your brain, your whole body, your entire being is always trying to keep you intact and keep you safe. And sometimes, when you dabble a little bit into psychedelics, especially, I've never really tried anything else in terms. I've never tried acid, but I'm not interested. Maybe, yeah, that's the thing for me. But anyways, we're just focusing on mushrooms. What you realize is that everything is really constantly always moving. The earth's revolving all the time. We're moving, we're spinning. The clouds are always moving. The sun is rising, it's setting. Everything around us is constantly moving and shifting. But we gotta so that we don't freak out. And sometimes I think, is it a blessing or a curse that we can't see further than our available vision? What is it, the 20/20 vision that most of us sport, and you got variations of that depending on whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't really know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that although everything, everything's moving, everything's always constantly changing and shifting. That's what I'm trying to say. And despite the fact that these lines seem straight behind me, that's an illusion as well. If you really zoom in, and that's what I like. You could, even the most perfectly aligned drawn line, if you look at it on like a atomic level, you'll notice little vibrations. You'll notice little ups and downs. It's never, maybe using different tech, maybe lasers or printing, that's different, but a lot of things that are, most things in nature, and everything's a part of nature. That's what it is, man. That's what is nature. Everything's what's natural. Sometimes we question, like, we're like, well, if it's man-made, it's not natural, and that's not true. If it's man-made or if it's artificial, that's also nature. Our conception of nature is a little bit, miscued, I guess, because we think nature doesn't change. We were like, well, that boy's natty. He's all natty, or she's all natty. Is she all natty? Is he all natty? You know what I'm talking about? And also, I know a lot of things are embedded into one another, but essentially at the end of the day, it's like we just keep getting better and evolving in every different aspect. It's just an amalgamation of all our best resources, our best efforts put into individuals, put into societies, put into structures, societal structures out there. And that's what it is. There is, like, everything and nothing is part of nature. That's what nature is. For us to think that something's natural because it's constant, that's kind of misguided. I'm trying to figure things out as well, you guys. So I really, I love you guys for listening. Thank you very much for, being patient, because this is what we do around here. We write a little bit, we paint a little bit, we go out there in the real world and hit the streets and try to observe it from the ground up, rather than trying to look from the top and determine what's going on. Because I think, you need to have different perspectives, and that's what it is. But why am I talking a little bit about shroomsies and psilocybin and other, I guess, well, let's just focus on shroomsies, talk about what you know. I definitely one day when the time is right, when my mind, my body, my spirit, and everything in the world aligns right, I'll definitely want to dabble in ayahuasca. But I'll want to do it, when the time's right, when me and ayahuasca are meant to meet, if we're meant to meet, because you can't push, like, certain things, you just can't push it or just do it all willy-nilly. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because, like, recently, especially during this past year and a half that we've all gone through what we've gone through, a lot of people are, we're talking more so about, what are we talking about? We're talking about mental health. We're talking about, everybody having some sort of a struggle, or some sort of a, something that needs to be a little bit tweaked, a little bit altered, a little bit, perspectives being challenged. And a great way to, challenge your perspective, or, to help you get through some stuff, might be psilocybin mushrooms. I've been a proponent of this for a very long time, but the reason why I'm talking about it is because I'd like us to get more I'd like us to essentially decriminalize everything, really. Like, there shouldn't be any criminal aspect of any sort of, quote unquote drugs or what have you, because I think people, at the end of the day, if you want to do something, you're going to go out there and do it, whether it's steroids or, mind altering drugs, or, the regular drugs that have become so normalized for us that we consume on a regular, like coffee, like tea, like alcohol, tobacco, all these things. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I recently see a lot of people are coming forward, speaking openly, showing at least interest. Maybe they were a little bit scared before because of the stigmas, maybe because of the whole, a lot of these things that are out there have taken a very bad hit. They've gotten a bad rap over the years, right? A lot of fake and unreal information has just been distributed amongst the public. But now everybody's kind of like realizing that there's a lot to be gained from a lot of things that are out there if we can use it wisely and accordingly. And the reason why I'm talking about shroomsies a little bit is because, yes, I've seen and I've heard a lot of people coming forward publicly speaking about having interest in dabbling a little bit in mushrooms, but I've heard a lot of it of hesitation in your voices, and then I see it in your faces, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm glad to see that you guys are curious out there, but at the same time, I'm glad to see that you guys are also a little bit hesitant, a little bit, we can say maybe a little bit, apprehensive, a little bit fearful maybe, because of, you don't know what it is, and from all the negative stigma that you've heard over the years and the media and different aspects of media, really, whether it's written text or whether it's visual, we've not really heard the truth, but it's coming forward little by little. But that's the thing, I want us to talk about it and like talk about all aspects of it. So if anybody's interested out there, and if I can give you a little bit of something from my personal experiences that you might find useful, if you think this is something that you want to dabble into, and if you want to try, start with, and I'm not an expert in any field and by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't even like labels, man. If I were to, I just like human liberties and freedoms, ways of expressing yourself, ways of finding things out about yourself. So if you're interested, start with a microdose, okay? A microdose, do a ton of research online, but it's, it should be, try anything less than, and I'm not anything less than, half a gram to like anything below that, just a little pinch, just a little teeny tiny, like a little teeny tiny bit, and it won't even do anything for you that's drastic, but you'll feel a little bit of what's to come if you were to, increase the dosage a little bit more. But the reason why I like us to, and to each their own, man. Some people will see this video and man, just take like 12 grams, dude. Just like go, man, just have a great time, bro. And you could do a lot. You could do a lot. To each their own. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to make anything look better than it is, or like try to. I don't have any dog in this race. The only dog in the race that I've got is just like, expanding human experiences and trying to get better at living life, essentially. Because a lot of times, it's coming forward that if we were to use psilocybin mushrooms, for example, that we'd all get along better, that we'd all understand each other a little bit better, we'd come to treat our bodies a little bit better, treat each other with more love and respect, treat nature better with more love and respect, and just, and to a certain degree that is true. But at the same time, I don't want people to have this misconception of, there is no miracle drug or a miracle substance or a miracle one-way remedy of doing anything, or it doesn't even need to be quote unquote a substance or a drug or whatever. It could be like there's no one form of living life, essentially. We're not gonna, like, you're not gonna have a population, whether it's a tiny population or a large population, just take something and hope for everything to just like, because people are always looking for that easy answer. People are always looking for that shortcut, and this is not by any stretch of the imagination an easy answer to your issues or problems if you're facing any challenges in your lives. This is actually something that, again, that's why I'm happy to see people being a little bit hesitant, being a little bit more curious, but also cautious. Because that's the thing, I don't want anybody, because unfortunately, because of the bad stigma that's been attached to these things, we've not done enough research. We've only heard the bad stuff. We've only heard you guys know what I'm talking about. But that's the thing, there's a ton of benefits that are now coming forward that, psilocybin mushrooms, at least microdosing, can be helpful in terms of assisting people who are dealing with different sorts of PTSD, whether they're soldiers or all sorts of trauma, childhood trauma, a lot of these things. And I know it's definitely helped me quite a bit, but because of a lack of knowledge, because of the amount of stigma that was around many things, we've not come to actually learn the true benefits of these bad boys and bad gals that are existing out there in the world and the universe for us to enjoy. But at the same time, I'm very happy to see people are now wakening up and realizing that there's a ton of stuff that we could be using out there to our advantage, and a lot of people, I think if we can use things to better ourselves, that's a great tool. And if you're wondering what it's going to do to you, there is no one typical sort of reaction that it's just like anything else. A common example of this would be how alcoholic beverages impact different people. Somebody might have a couple of drinks, they might be fine. Somebody might have a couple of drinks and throw up. Somebody might, and it just, within that spectrum, right? You can go ahead and this is the same thing. If you microdose, though, you're probably not going to feel any of the extreme effects, but what you'll probably get is a little bit of a euphoric sense. You'll probably feel a little bit more in touch with your body and your surroundings. You might feel a little bit of a sense of, again, different people. These are things I've had different trips with different dosages, and all of them in retrospect have been beneficial for me. Even the most difficult trips have actually been the most beneficial, because at the time you're like, oh man, what are these thoughts, what are these emotions? But if you can just, at the back of your head when you're going into it, if you can, first of all, there's a lot that, again, please don't just jump into these things thinking it's, do your research, take your time, microdose, take into account the setting that you're doing it in, make sure that it's a safe environment, make sure that you are in good company. If you're doing it with friends or family members, make sure, obviously do it with people, just like anything else. But this is because it's brings up all your emotions, brings up all your, just heightens your senses, and it may bring up some stuff that you may have repressed or suppressed, either consciously or subconsciously. So just keep all these things in mind. Maybe if you're not comfortable with somebody 100%, maybe it wouldn't be the best idea to go and do mushrooms with a random stranger. That's all I'm saying. Or maybe it would be for, I don't know you. Maybe that's the type of thing that you're looking for. I don't know what you're looking for, but what I'm trying to tell you is that it's a great tool. But because of all the negative stigma over the years, a lot of people are hesitant. A lot of people are afraid, and here are the things that you need to fear, I guess. And again, if anybody, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert in any of and I don't think we do have too many experts in these fields. We need more people to be talking about these things so that we could learn from the beneficial ways of using these bad boys and bad gals. You know what I'm saying? So, lost the trail of my thought, but essentially I want you guys to be curious, ask questions, and I'm glad to see people are talking about it more. I want us to go ahead and decriminalize all sorts of substances, really leave it to people. And this is not gonna, this, a great example of this is, we can look at this in Portugal. They've done that, and instead of taking people and putting a label on them and putting them into different institutions, wasting all these money, like the money, the resources, the manpower, the lady power that goes into maintaining that sort of reality, it's ass backwards sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's not overreact. And I think we're at a great time right now that we could use these tools essentially to our benefit. But I don't want this to be also again, I don't want people to think, just like there is, if people want to lose weight, they think that they should just take a pill and lose weight. Or if they want to gain muscle, they think that they should just go and inject themselves or take this pill or that pill and you got to put in the work. You got to work. Psilocybin mushrooms, for me, has made me more aware, has made me more, it gave me just perspective on life, on different aspects of my life, and it made me work harder. It made me appreciate my life, but it also made me get over a few stuff. It made me work, but it makes you, this is not for the type of person that if you're uncomfortable with thinking, feelings, emotions, if these things make you uncomfortable, if you are not comfortable dabbling into those things on a regular basis, then this is probably not for you. If you're looking to just party and have a good time, maybe it's for you. In my life, I've never been seeking to do, or rather partake in activities for the sake of a party or a good time. I'm always like relatively in a cheerful mood. I'm relatively happy. I've got my moments and my days where I'm like, I'm in my feelings, or I'm maybe going through something where I'm just like, whatever, going through it. But relatively speaking, living that so-so life, somewhere in the middle, baby. So I'm happy to see people talking, but at the same time, I don't want there to be like a misconception of if we were just like, give people substances, they're gonna feel better and we're gonna get along. Maybe it'll be a portion of it, but the reason why I'm talking about it is because I'd like to see us coming back and reshaping the infrastructure that's in place. What am I talking about? Okay, so let's say you dabble in this a little bit, you dabble into psilocybin, you realize that you need to, fix or maybe alter a little bit of your lifestyle and just like, treat your body better, exercise, be nice to yourself, be kind to other people. Definitely those are great aspirations and things that we should strive for and achieve, and we definitely could do all those things. But at the same time, we got to keep in mind that what did I say before? The setting has a lot to do with it, but not even just during partaking in any of these activities, but what about after, right? For example, we can't imagine that we're going to be prescribing these to soldiers and helping them with PTSD, yet at the same time fostering and catering an environment where we need to create more soldiers, create more wars, and essentially this. So like, does that make any sense? And that's one example of it. Another example of it is like you'll come out maybe thinking, man, we could all like benefit from cooperation rather than competing together all the time. It's good to be competitive. A lot of times I'm competitive, but my competition's mostly within myself. I'm always like, you could be doing this better. That's a different sort of competition. Different people compete in different ways, and competition's definitely a part of humanity. We don't need to get rid of anything. It's just finding a way of balancing things out. So we need to come back out of these experiences and then utilize them, because it's not just good to get a perspective. It's actually, okay, well, what are we doing with this extra awareness? What are we doing with the knowledge and wisdom that God handed down to us? What are we going to do with that? So we should be asking difficult questions, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It makes you comfortable with the situations that might otherwise make you feel uncomfortable. It might lead you to ask difficult questions, both about your personal life and larger society at play as well. Why am I talking about these things? Because it's important. It's important to not just rely on one thing. I think if people need assistance in any shape or form, it shouldn't just be dependent. Like if you need to be healthy, you wouldn't, if you need to be physically healthy, you wouldn't just monitor your diet. You'd want to monitor your diet, you'd want to exercise, you may seek a few different classes, see how your body works, see which kind of regimen works best for you. You might, get a couple of different coaches, you might read different books. So there's so many different things that go into it. It's not just give me this one thing and make everything okay. It's not like that. But there's a lot of potential that we could tap into and use it to our advantage as a global society. And I hope this becomes more and more socially acceptable, and it starts with us right here. It starts with us in Canada. It starts with our brothers and cousins down in the US, and other countries, and like Portugal's been great at doing this. And look at that nation, like taking something that a lot of the globe has been grappling with in one particular fashion, and they decided to do something a little bit more differently, and hey, great outcome. And that's fantastic. It's great to see that, and let's learn from it. Let's engage more in learning and being okay essentially with making mistakes, because a lot of times I think people are looking for like, oh, let's you go from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, let's stop making mistakes, let's have people acting like behave like respectable adults. And there's a lot of we get rigid as we get older, and I just let that's psilocybin, or like a little bit of weed, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. These things kind of just remind you that you're really essentially still, we're all children. We just keep getting, our bodies evolve, we get a little bit older, get a little bit wrinkly here and there, get a little bit gray, this, that, and the other, but there's a lot of issues that impact a lot of us in the early formative years, and a lot of people are dealing with different sorts of traumas, and I think this could definitely be helpful. But again, I don't want it to be just like a business thing. I don't want it to be, why did I say, here's the thing, my certain things, I'm not going to do ayahuasca probably in North America, I'll tell you that. I'm probably gonna, if it happens, I'm probably gonna have to travel somewhere with, a proper, I want to do it properly. Everything's got to, but psilocybin is a little bit different than ayahuasca. But what I'm trying to tell you is that everything needs to be done with a level of gratitude and respect going forward toward it. This is not something that, and I think people most of the time realize this, but it depends on different people. Depends when some people like dabble into different substances at such a young age, and I think there should definitely you don't want to be messing around too much with your brain or your mind from a young age. Wait until at least you're of legal age, at least. Even then, I don't recommend. I personally started to dabble a little bit in weed, and like in my early 20s. That's what it was, and it's helped me quite a bit. But overall, I want people to be curious. I want people to be asking questions, but at the same time, I want people to, yes, be a little bit respectful of it. It's just like anything else. Like, we enjoy swimming and we like water and we like the sea and we like the ocean, but there's a level of respect that goes into it, and we'll get to water and respecting water at another time. But there is, you can always play in water, but you can also, easily drown in a bathtub as well. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? I hope that resonates with you guys. So if you're interested in doing these things and experiment, maybe the first, maybe don't go overboard. If your friends like, let's just do 6 grams, let's just toss in 2 grams, you start slow, there, because you can always, that's just like cooking, right? If you add way too much salt, it's hard to make that meal taste good. But if you put in a little pinch, if you want to add a little bit more later on, you can always do that. But don't do anything that is gonna do everything to your advantage. Don't create an environment or an atmosphere or an experience for yourself where it's gonna be unpleasant. But here's the thing, for the most part, even the most unpleasant trips, I've had a couple of unpleasant trips. I'm telling you, retrospectively, you'll come to even love those bad boys and bad gals. That's what I wanted to say today, mostly. Ooh-wee. Let me get a sip of this. Man. Moving on, I guess, and we'll come back to this. This is not a one-time, because it's going to take us some time. We'll come back to this topic as well. Maybe one day, who knows? Maybe one day we'll do a little bit of microdosing maybe we might microdose together. We'll see. But that's for another time, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But man, on another topic, I got so happy yesterday because I'm walking up Yonge Street, walking back home from my walk with my brother, and I saw this, I saw a young couple, they were declaring their love on the street to each other, to one another, knee deep in each other's throats, in there for like minutes, dude, minutes, long public display of affection. And just, yeah, how do you guys feel about those public displays of affection? I personally don't care. I'm cool either. Like, I've never like been the type to want to like put on I don't want to like lock lips with anybody for a long period of time in public. That's just me. I don't mind a little peck on the cheek, a little peck on the lips, sure, have a good time. But like in there, like swimwear for a few minutes, it was interesting, man. It was interesting. It was a young couple, and when I say young, I don't mean like I'm not looking like they were adults, okay? Relax. But they were young enough to be engaging in public displays of affect because you don't really too, and this is not an ageist argument, I've just not seen too many elderly couples or couples of experience really going at it in public. You know, the old, you know, the more experience you get in life, certain things you want to keep. And that's the thing, it made me realize, I'm like, why is this young couple really like, it's like we've all seen people kiss, we've all seen people give, you know, a little peck here, a little peck there, but what made this couple like really like lock it in there for a few minutes? Because like I saw them from a distance and I was walking by and the light turned red, so I had to stop, and I was like still like not purposefully like staring at them, it's just, hey man, we're all out there, you're in my direction and I'm just looking that way, you're right there, that's what I'm trying to say. And they were just like, wow, right there, like all in there, really like intense. But it just made me think, what's the, you know, what's this plastic couple up to? Are they, you know, what is he going off somewhere? Is he going to like, is he getting shipped off to a mission somewhere? Is he going to war in like a distant country or continent doing something else, you know, that they can't, you know, like, because like weather's nice out, you can easily walk home and like, you know, take it to the next level in your, you know, in your privacy, or hop in an Uber, or, you know, people are walking, jump on their backs, hitch a ride like that, you know, just different methods of transportation to get you from A to B so you can get to C. But it was interesting because it made me happy. It made me why did it make me happy? It made me happy first of all because people are kissing in public, which is super nice, like, you know, swapping germs essentially, like, you know, mixing their little salivas, creating a concoction together, and basically saying we're over schmovid, which was fantastic because I'm over schmovid. A lot of people out there are over schmovid, so it's good to see people kissing. Made me feel a little bit lonely, I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason why I'm like, oh man, that looks kind of dope, not gonna lie. You know, but at the same time, you know, you make the bed that you sleep in, and I'm very happy and grateful for everything that I've got. And it's just whatever, it is what it is. Sometimes, you know, it's most of the times it's hella fun being, you know, living that life in the single lane, because there's just like you can do so many things and it's just like there's literally no restrictions. And that's from, but sometimes there's a little tiny piece of each and every one of us where I'm like, man, couples are cool. And couples are cool, dude. If you're in a relationship, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm a big fan of love. I'm a big fan of good people getting together and just like having a good time, creating experiences, creating bonds, sharing memories, learning from each other, growing from each other, giving love, taking love. It's so sweet, man. And that's the most important aspect of that kiss, to be honest with you. That young couple looked like they were in love and they were just like showing each other their affection. And it got me happy, dude. It got me happy because I'm like, little piece of normal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now go home. Jokes, of course. Do whatever you like. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, do whatever you like, man. That's the motto. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's wheels are turning. There's so much happening. There's so much more unraveling right before our eyes, and I'm very thankful, and I'm very, you know, I'm just trying to practice, you know, staying grounded, do a little bit of meditation in my way, and come back and just, you know, give you guys some good positive energy. And we're doing this together. Thank you guys for giving me that good positive energy as well. This is a dance that we're doing. This is a dance that we're doing, and it's only the beginning. So I apologize if I'm learning, dude. Sometimes, you know, I step on your toes. Sometimes you may step on my toes. That's all good because we got good intentions up in this biatch. We're just trying to learn. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Have yourselves a wonderful start to your weekend. Tomorrow we'll be back here again for the Patreon edition. Stay safe out there. Ask questions, stay curious, go after your dreams, whatever they are, whether you're into the arts, whether you're into the sciences, or you're a crafts person, you're a handyman or a handywoman, or maybe, you know, maybe you like dabbling in different things. And do it all. Do whatever makes you your best self. Do that, and we'll get through this. And by this, I mean the beautiful life that we're going through. So enjoy it as well. Don't just go through it like you're going through it, like you have to go through it. Go through it like you're enjoying it, because you are. You should be, at least, for the most part, because it's beautiful and it's a privilege. Love you guys. We'll talk real soon. Stay safe out there. And if you like these videos, go ahead and hit those darn like buttons on Instagram, on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, because over there, every time the videos come out, you'll get the full-length videos. Again, search Rob Sadri on YouTube. You'll get the full-length videos. And if you want to support your boy in any shape or form, go ahead to Patreon. See what's suitable for you and talk about it, man. Talk about it with your friends, with your family. This is all grassroots, word of mouth, building a community essentially together. So if you like what you see and you want to support your boy, talk about it, pass it along, share it, and go on to Patreon and dabble a little bit in that as well. Talk to you guys very soon, which is basically tomorrow, less than 24 hours. I'll be back here again, doing it. Different topics, different genres, different day. Go get it out there. Love you guys. Talk to y'all very soon. Peace out.